Crafty Cataloger here for, we're going to call this my November update. I guess the Sunday afternoon recording is not going to work. Stuff keeps getting in the way. I actually did record the second or third Sunday of October. For some reason it didn't turn out very well. I had only covered like 2 things, so I recorded again the next week and I included those things, but I wasn't able to do the recording on Sunday. I just didn't get around to it, so I did it on Monday after work, and it's still on the camera. I don't know how anybody gets anything done after work. I do manage to usually get a little bit of stitchy time and a little bit of knitting time and read about 1 chapter of a book, but there's just not enough time in my day. I mean, I think that's everybody's problem. So anyway, we're going to finish up October, cover November, and we're going to talk about plans. And then going forward, I guess the next thing I'll try is maybe just going back to a monthly update and see how that works. Today is December 7th, so I would have liked to have done this last week, but it is what it is. We're going to cover cross stitch, knitting, and sewing today, and we'll talk about paper crafting in plans. May touch on books a little bit, but for the most part it's just cross stitch, knitting, and sewing. I will try to remember to put timestamps below. To start off, let's talk about cross stitch. In the area of cross stitch, I worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different projects since I talked to you last. I finished off my last Whip Go goal in late October, early November, probably late October. And the last goal on my board was to put in 4 hours of work on This Is the Day. This is a Plum Street Samplers design, and I really like it, and I can tell you that I spent a lot of time laying bricks. I don't know if I have a picture from before. If I do, I will insert it up here. If not, just know that I added a lot of bricks. The house is coming along, but there are a lot of bricks in that house. I think I also added the door. This I will talk about more in plans, but this will be making its appearance a few times next year on my Whip Go board. I spent more time working on Minnie the Library. This is a Hade. I have an Unearthed Designs chart. The artist is Augusta Toulamouche, I believe. I don't know what I put in since I saw you last, but I can tell you that I have added 7,562 stitches to this year. I will try to at least put a picture of where it was like at the beginning of this year. But here it is now. I feel like I've made a nice bit of progress on this. I have found the far right edge, so yes, I have a lot of extra fabric over there. But I am making some nice progress on this, and I honestly did not really want to put it down, but I kind of made myself. So made some nice progress on that. Then I put this one down and decided that I would work on these Farmhouse Christmas charts that I have. These are 2 of a 9 chart series by Little House Needleworks. These were 2 things that were on my 1, 2, 3 stitch wish list last year that my son went and bought a bunch of things off of. So I had, of the 9 charts that are available, I had Horsing Around, and I had Little Red Barn. I need to go look at the website. I'm not entirely sure that I want the other 7 charts, but I need to go look and find out. And if I do, I need to put them on my wish list. I finished Horsing Around a couple of weeks ago. And it's cute. And I finished, sorry, this one's not ironed because I literally finished it last night. Little Red Barn was finished last night. And I already have, and I don't know why I cut these pieces of fabric. I cut them because they don't need to be this big, but I found this fabric in my stash. So my plan is to make them into pillows, with this being the backing. I have 2 pieces of fabric cut out, like I said, way too big. I'm actually hoping to get to that today, but I don't know if that will happen. We will see. I finished 3 of my 4 ornaments, like fully finished them. The 4th one is still sitting over there. It is not on the wooden ornament backing because I don't have them yet. The pattern came with 3. My local needlework store, which is like over an hour away, but that's the closest I have. She was able to find some more, and I wasn't able to actually make it over there to get them, so she's shipping them to me. They should be here this week. So I will get that last one finished, and that one goes to the son that lives here with us, so I'm not too worried about it. Then the last thing that I did in the area of cross stitch was a new start. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I was working on this piece called Sunlight Sonata. This is a Tilton Crafts chart, and I was not enjoying it. I really love this picture. I really want this picture hanging in my house, but I was trying to do it 25 count 1/1. It was just really hurting my eyes. There was a lot of white, so doing the white or super light grays on the white was also making me feel like I was going cross-eyed. So I decided I was going to restart it. And I know that many of you are probably saying, but Katrina, you said you were going to wait and start that on New Year's Day. And you would be correct. That is what I said. But I changed my mind, which I will explain when I get to plans. So I restarted Sunlight Sonata, and I have not gotten very far because I took time out to do those 2 farmhouse Christmas pieces. I have a grand total of 474 stitches in here, but I am pleased so far. I am gridding this fabric myself, although as you can see I have not fully gridded it. And of course I made a mistake right off the bat in my gridding, which I didn't catch until after I started stitching. I am planning on giving this, working on this for the rest of the year. Now that I have the 2 farmhouse Christmas pieces done, I'm going to just stitch on this for the rest of the year. I may or may not continue gridding. I am going to see how it goes after I get past that. Maybe I'll decide I don't need the gridding and I'll be okay. But if I want to, I can continue. But that will be my focus for the rest of this year. And so I'm hoping that by the end of the month I can have a couple thousand more stitches added to that. Next, let's talk about knitting. So last time we spoke, I told you all that I was working on this baby dress and that I was making the one on my needles was for my great niece. And so I got this far it still looks huge to me. I got so far as to make the sleeves, put the sleeves on, and start the bodice. But I knew, even at that point, that there are too many mistakes in this, and it just still doesn't look right to me. I mean, that looks so big. I mean, that almost looks big enough for me to wear it. So definitely not 12 month. I knew there were too many mistakes. There was no way I could gift this. So I decided to stop because I read ahead through the rest of the pattern, and there was nothing else new to me in the pattern that I felt I needed to practice or learn how to do a new stitch or anything. So I decided to stop, and I restarted because, as you may remember, I had purchased 2 different colorways of yarn. One was going to be for my great niece and one was going to be for my granddaughter. So I decided to restart. I did go up a needle size, which it's still, well, it is, who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's still, it does look a little smaller, but I actually did more gauge swatches, and it seemed like no matter what size needle I used, it didn't matter. I was still coming up with the same exact stitches. So I am just super confused. But this is how far I've gotten on this now. I guess maybe I'll just show you one part. I am past the little decorative piece at the bottom, and now I will be knitting until I reach like 11 inches or almost 12 inches. I did some research, especially regarding these baubles, these little thingies here. I felt like there were a lot of the baubles on this one that they just looked sloppy to me. I actually found a video that showed a different way to make them than what the pattern I'm using tells me to do. And I think that this new way, they just turn out tighter. Like, they don't feel so loosey-goosey and like they just would fall out. This new way also has you doing something in the next round to kind of tighten up the hole that gets left, and I think that's also helping to hold them in place. So I am praying that this one will turn out and be wearable. I am going to unravel this and wind it back up, and I do still plan on making one for my great niece from this yarn. I should be able to unwind it and use it still. So I don't feel like it was a waste. It was just a very long practice project, I guess. So that's where we are with the knitting, which takes us to sewing or quilting. I did finally finish the wall hanging, and since it's hanging on the wall, I'll insert a picture here. I say finished, it is completely pieced. It still needs to go to the long armor to be quilted and then have the binding put on. I will do that in March when I want to take it down off the wall. The long armor does currently have 2 of my other wall hangings that I was going to take them one at a time, and then I thought, no, I'm just going to take them and get them out of my craft room for now. She'll probably be calling in the next couple weeks telling me that those are ready to be picked up, and then I will be able to work on the bindings for that. I made a book. My oldest son's best friend and his wife had a baby about probably 3 weeks ago now. So I made this book, Dinosaur Friends. that I am going to send to their little guy. And I thought it turned out cute. All the different dinosaurs in there. It even has the pronunciation down there. So I'm going to be putting that in the mail this week with this card, which was one I probably showed you a while ago. It just says, "Hello, baby." And I have another book over on my craft desk that is cut out and pinned and ready to be sewn that I am planning on giving my great niece for Christmas. Let's see. I think that covers everything that I've worked on. So let's talk plans for 2026. In 2026, I hope to get a lot done, as all of us do. I have already created my whip-go board for 2026. And I realize that you can't see that, but that's in my planner. I will try to put it up here. There are let's see, there will be 4 Christmas ornaments, so there will be 4 new starts, hopefully starts and finishes. And then there are 1, 2, 3, let's see, let's do this in a more organized manner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 other new pieces on this board that I hope to start and finish. The first one is called Official Snow Guide. I will try to put a picture up there of that one. Stitchography is another one that I hope to start and finish. Quiltography. I have not picked out the Christmas ornament, so I won't show you that one just yet. And sweater weather. That is the other one that I hope to start. And over the course of the year, sweater weather is on there 3 times. Like each time it's on there, I want to get 1/3 of it done. The other ones are basically a start and finish in that month. Then the other things on my board are to work on that wow piece some more. Glory of Autumn. I would really like to finish Glory of Autumn. This is the day. That actually may be it. Oh, and the ornament snow globe. I did throw that one on there for an additional 4 hours. I had worked on that a couple months ago. The only reason that one actually got thrown on there was because I had the Farmhouse Christmas, this one. I had this one on there and then I ended up doing it. So I had to replace it. Then, when it comes to my big pieces, as you know, I have Mini Village Bookstore, which is a Hade, Mini the Library, which is a Hade, Sunlight Sonata, my Tilton Crafts, and I'm going to add another one. I don't know who I think I am, but I had heard of the Hade sale in the past. I think, I know Kim Hollenbeck has done it and other people have done it. So I'd heard them mention it, but I hadn't really ever looked into it. And I don't know what made me look into it this year. I looked into it. And at first I was like, there's nothing there that like screams, "You've got to stitch me." And I didn't really read the if you finish this, you get this kind of thing. And then I was watching another YouTube and somebody was talking about it and they said, only having to finish a page and get this Amy Stewart chart. And I was like, maybe I need to go back and reread that. So I did. I do not own any Amy Stewart pieces, but I do like them. And the name of that prize chart makes me think it's going to be something I like. So I decided maybe I should try it, and I did some math. If my math is even close, it should be about 800 stitches a month. I feel like that should be doable. And that's even actually at 10 months. That was even figuring in it. 8,000 stitches on a page for 10 months was 800 stitches. And I thought, you should be able to do that. Especially when I look at my numbers in my spreadsheet and I average them out. I've been averaging like 5,000 stitches a month, which I don't feel like that's what I get, but that's what the spreadsheet's telling me. So I think I should be able to do this. So I am going to do Stone Cottage Keep, which I will put up here. I have the fabric, which that was an odd thing. I ordered the fabric and I got it within like a week, only I got the wrong fabric. And 123 Stitch says that I ordered the wrong fabric, and I don't know how I did that, because what I got was the right size piece and it was the right count. It was 18 count Aida, but it was non-gridded, and I wanted gridded, and I still don't know how I could have possibly managed to order non-gridded fabric, because I really don't think I even looked at the non-gridded fabric. I was baffled. Anyway, I sent it back, which probably I shouldn't have. In hindsight, it cost me like $8 to ship it back. I probably should have just kept it and bought a new piece. It would have been cheaper in the long run. But anyway, I sent it back, returned it. They got me the correct, what I really wanted. That came last week. So the only thing I have left to do is purchase my floss and get it on Paco organizers. I actually have one empty Paco organizer currently, and my husband and son were cleaning up some stuff in their computer area, and they ended up with a bunch of empty boxes, and in that pile of empty boxes was the plastic shoe boxes that I like to use to put my Paco organizers in for each project. So I nabbed that, and I put the second Paco organizer that I will need on my Christmas list. So hopefully Santa will bring that for me. If not, I will be buying it the day after Christmas. And I need to just get to a store right now and get the floss. I was a little frustrated with Michael's because they had a 40% off coupon for online sales earlier this week. And I thought, I will order from them because that's a nice chunk of change to save. Well, first of all, buying floss on Michael's website is kind of painful. It's not organized in a manner that makes any sense at all to me. But also, you can only put 50 items in your cart. I need like 80. And if I could put all 80 in the cart, I would be up over $39, which would, even with the coupon, I'd be up over $39, which would get me free shipping. But because I can only put $50 items in my cart, I can't get over that amount. And it's like, I might as well just wait till I can go to the store and do it myself, which just kind of frustrated me. But anyway. So I will be adding Stone Cottage Keep to the monthly amount of stitching I'd like to get done. And then I'm going to go back to rotating my 3 big projects, Mini Village Bookstore, Mini the Library, and Sunlight Sonata, for 2-month segments. And so they'll each get 2 months, and then I'll start over halfway through the year and they'll each get 2 more months. Then my plans for quilting, I don't really have any. I'll just work on whatever I want to work on. I do have several projects here that I've purchased, and I would like to work on those because they're doing no good sitting in the buckets over here. They need to be finished up. Knitting, I would like to finish this dress for my granddaughter, and then I would like to make the second attempt to make one for my great niece. And then I know I have some other projects in there that I need to tackle. And that bin is, my yarn bin is full. to the point where actually I looked up a pattern for a blanket because I'm thinking I need to start using up some of these. I have a lot of leftovers and I need to start using those up somehow. So I would like to get to the point where I'm working on that next year. And then my plans for paper crafting. I fell off that bandwagon this year big time. My whip go board for paper crafting is very bad. To the point where I've kind of given up, in a way. I went to the dollar store about a month ago and I purchased all the birthday cards I needed for the rest of the year. And then I also went and I purchased store-bought Christmas cards, which are sitting here mocking me because they're not done. I need to get those done and in the mail. Because what I decided is that for this year, I am just going to send out store-bought cards and not feel bad. And then I'm still going to try to make cards, and I realize that my month is quickly running out, but I'm hoping to spend time the rest of this month, 1 or 2 days, making all the birthday cards that I would need for next year. And then I went through and I did make a whip go board for next year's cards for paper crafting. And again, it's in my planner already, but I'll put a copy here. Basically, I literally went through, you can see at the bottom of my thing there, I went through and figured out who had birthdays in each month, how many cards I needed for the women in my life, the men in my life, the children in my life. And then I counted them up, and that's what's on my whip go board. So I know that I need 2 children's cards. That's on my whip go board. I know that I need X number of birthday cards for the women in my life. I divided it up and I put it on my board enough times that by the end of the year I should have enough birthday cards for everyone that I normally send them to. And those cards that I make next year are intended for 2027. I also have on here like blocks to make some sympathy cards, thank you cards, wedding cards, that kind of thing, because you never know when you're going to need those, and I would like to have a stash of those in my little box. I think a big part of my problem is that I kind of have to be in the mood to make cards. Once I get started, I'm fine, and I can stand in here for a few hours and work on them and enjoy myself. But I also find that I end up not doing it, and then all of a sudden it's like, I have got to make a card because I need it in the mail tomorrow. And then I'm not ever 100% happy with what I've come up with because I'm rushing or I'm on a time constraint. And so I'm really hoping that by planning these cards for the following year, that will help me out. And then if that works, then next year I'll do the same thing. The following year. Any cards I make will be for the following year. I think if I could get myself to be a year ahead, I would be much better off, and I would probably enjoy it a lot more. So that is the plan. I don't know that I have much else to share. It's been, life around here, going to work, a lot, like everybody else. And we do have snow, and it's snowing right now, just kind of some light flurries. My husband and I have another concert next Sunday that is still very enjoyable to go and play every Thursday night for rehearsal and then put on the concerts. We had Christmas with our kids yesterday because my oldest is a store manager for a Gordon food service store, so really he needs to be working every weekend. He was able to get yesterday off, but leading up to the holidays, he really needs to be there at the store. And then, you know, just schedule-wise, it worked out for us to have Christmas yesterday. That was very nice. I got some baby snuggles in, finally. I was very happy to finally get to see her again. That was the first time since she was basically a week old that I had gotten to see her. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. I lead a kind of boring life, I guess. I can't think of anything else at this point in time, so I will sign off for now. I wish everyone a happy whatever holiday you celebrate in this coming month, and if I don't see you before the end of the year, Happy New Year.